So you've studied hard, graduated, and did all the right things to land that job at a big firm. You are ready to continue your success and climb that corporate ladder. But after starting work, oh boy, they weren't kidding about it being completely different to everything you've been through so far. The rules of the game has changed yet again. Let's ask our guests here to try set out for us what new realities you might have to consider at this stage after uni.
Before we dive into the individual things, I think it's important to first understand why the rules keep changing. From school to uni, to work, responsibility of our well-being is increasingly being transferred over to ourselves. It can be easy to get accustomed to a protected academic environment where everyone shares the same methods of progression, under a relatively fair standardized system. When you leave an institution that is paid based on how well they educate you, and join an institution that is paid based on how well they can extract value out of you, of course the rules will change.
The key word here is indeed value. What value you have, what value you can gain, and how to show your value when they are measuring it can pretty much sum up most of how to climb that career ladder.
My value currently as a second-year analyst at the investment firm is my ability to put in 80 hours per week serving the needs of senior members of the firm. Their job is to extract the most value they can from my work in the office, to pass up the chain, to then eventually be used by someone at the top on the client side, to earn money for the firm. I agree to my long hours and accept starting at the bottom of the food chain in return for the opportunity to either be promoted up or, after gaining enough work experience, hop to another firm that can give me a better opportunity.
Job hopping is definitely the way to go in the early stages of your career. Unfortunately, loyalty is not rewarded these days. I know a colleague at the firm that has been working for us for over 15 years, and unfortunately his salary is some 30% lower than a new person that recently joined us. They are in the same grade in terms of experience and seniority, but because everyone's pay is not transparent, they will absolutely underpay you if they think they can get away with it. You have to fight for your worth.
Adding to that, when you hop with valuable work experience, the firm you are hopping to won't know what you were paid before. They are going to pay you based purely on how much they need you at that time, whereas your old firm might consider only a small percentage pay rise after a good performance review. The two numbers could be very different and you won't know unless you're looking to hop.
It's also important to mention not to hop for the sake of hopping, because if you overhop, that can also be a negative on your job prospects. No company is going to want to recruit a person that plans to leave them after only a few months. I've only hopped twice in my entire career so far, but I worked in about 7 different roles. I personally looked for opportunities within each company first. If you stay in the same department, then you are not gaining new skills. Being exposed to different aspects of the same industry can make your work experience more valuable.
That's so true. Work experience is not just how many years you've done. What you've done in those years matter a lot. Frequently networking with recruiters in your industry is a good idea. They know the supply and demand for talent and experience within the industry better than you do. They do this for a living. Companies tell them who they are looking for and it's their job to find that person. So if you can actively look to build yourself up towards where demand is high but supply is scarce, then you won't even need to look for them. They will come find you with an offer you can't refuse.
That is exactly how I got my current job. My last hop happened because a recruiter reached out to me, offering me my current job, which pays much higher, because it required a unique set of skills, experience, and knowledge, which I've actively acquired over the years. But I have to admit that's not everything that made this possible. There is something called managing up, too. I've always got along with my managers. My value is therefore recognized more, because the managers are who the company employs to assess your performance. This doesn't just mean you can get a better pay rise after every performance review. When you give value to your manager can also give value to you. This means your manager can help you get what you want from the firm rather than be a barrier. I know plenty of people with the same talent who can't secure a role they want internally because they don't get along with their superiors.
And if you don't get along with your team, then you end up being the person that get given all the least rewarding, boring, repetitive work. The worst part with being trapped in this state is you end up losing out on all the opportunities to develop yourself further, which then puts you at even more of a disadvantage.
After uni, our understanding of fairness and equality might need to change to align with reality. We've probably only touched the tip of the iceberg on what the working life might look like and the harsh realities that can sometimes come with it. But at Honest Insiders, we believe even the smallest forward insight can be life-changing. And I hope our 3-part series on flexible degrees have been useful in giving you that basic insight if you are planning to start one of these degrees.